Yes, sir. This is a very large building with quite some people in it. This is a type of hotel here. It is a library. Mm-hmm. There's a library and a hotel. Several people.
Mm-hmm. Mr. Jordan, this is a hospital. This is Los Angeles County USC Medical Center, and you're in the psychiatric unit.
Mm-hmm.
My God, terrifying. So yeah, that's what we're going to quickly be watching. It's the DTs. Anybody that has extreme alcoholics in the family or anything like that will know what the DTs are. Personally, I didn't know what they were until obviously I looked into it and everything. Years back over, I don't want to get into it because you know what I'm like. I end up speaking for 20 minutes on something irrelevant. But Opie and Anthony show, there was a guest they had on, Lady Di. She was an alcoholic, and this was basically her end. At age like 62 or something, she relapsed into sort of like a memory line of her being aboard a ship in the Navy, because she used to be in the Navy. And yeah, she thought that the hospital was a Navy, was a ship, and they were docked somewhere, and it's absolute complete delusion. This guy, he just doesn't, like, the short-term memory is so severe that they can't remember anything. They can't remember, like, minutes, or like seconds before, they can't remember what just happened. But it's strange. They don't experience it like forgetfulness, do you know what I mean? Because they're not completely conscious that they're even forgetting. So let's watch some of this.
Isn't your thinking recently, or your...
Hold on, we'll go right to the beginning.
Well, I was up in my room, my hotel, and I was sleeping. And a policeman come up with their guns and said, all right, you're under arrest, you and the manager are under arrest. And I said, I give my $60 for my next rent up to September and 22nd.
So right here he's explained to us how he, in his opinion, from his memory, how he ended up here. Not even sure if he knows where here is, but...
He said, all right, then you have to come on with us. So I went down to the jail, and I went down to the jail to Grant's house and went up before the judge. And there was a $64 and a 50-cent fine suspended.
So I really wonder where he gets them numbers from. Because he just pulls them out of somewhere. And whenever he asks him for numbers that he can verify elsewhere in the conversation, they're completely inaccurate and outrageous and wrong. So I don't believe those numbers.
Suspended.
Obviously.
And what brought you here?
I was hearing these voices and things, and they were saying that
I will end up laughing at some point during this, right? Just because it is funny it is tragic. Don't get me wrong. Okay, this whole thing's tragic. But with anything like this, memory things and stuff, some of the things that people come out with, I mean, it's outrageous. It's funny. It's funny because it's spontaneously outrageous. For instance, this guy right here, this part of him, his brain, he mentioned a hotel before because he thinks. He keeps bringing up like the price of the rent and stuff in his room, and how outrageous it is. Now he has to do something because some people are getting the rent cheaper. He doesn't realise that he's in a hospital.
Bad, and they was going to send an animal around to bite me, and they did. It crawled right under my room, under my door there in my room, and I seen it there. It crawled up and it bit me right on the leg. It bit me right here on the leg here.
Mr. Jordan, when was it that you came here?
Well, after Grant's house, I come here 5 days after Labor Day.
Which would be how long ago?
That would be then.
He's trying so hard.
5 days I was in Grant's house, and then I come here for 5 days. Time don't make no difference, though.
Yeah, he has no concept of. It's almost like living in a time machine. He says something later on as well, to the effect of every time I look up, there's someone else there. And I think that's just his memory. Like every time he looks up, it feels like there's someone else there because he doesn't recognize him anymore. So just, you know, it feels every moment it's new.
See, And what's your understanding as to why you came to the hospital this time?
Because they say that people that drink and take stuff, they have the DDTs, but I don't do no drinking. I don't do no drinking at all. I do it. I live on a 4 floors up, a 3-floor walk up, and I have no heat up there. I have Phil Cole.
Apparently this hospital is cold.
Radio my manager gave me, and I have to take my meals on a hot plate there.
How much have you been drinking recently?
Oh, I drink a bottle of wine and a bottle of water, and I smoke a cigarette an hour. I smoke a package of cigarettes every 24 hours.
It's got like these certain foundational things that you can keep on going back to. Almost like mantras that are like facts about his life. It's terrifying as well. It's horrible to see.
And I drink a quart of milk. I had some bacon sandwiches up in my room.
Have you ever had any problems, medical or otherwise, because of your drinking or drug use?
No, sir.
No.
No, sir, I never have, because I have not had, I had tonsils. Mm-hmm. I had tonsils, and I had maybe an ulcer.
Have you ever been treated medically for your drinking
No,
problem?
sir, I have not, because I have not had nothing to drink for 10 days, and my mother's sister's house...
I mean, 10 minutes ago he just said the, I assume, inaccurate statement that he had a bottle of wine and what was it, a glass of water? A bottle of wine every day, something like that. But he's been in hospital, so I doubt it.
I went out, I would spend money on the prostitutes, and
Oh god.
but I would get so cold out in the ass and the snow there.
Cameras off.
I couldn't do it. I'd be too cold, so I'd escape from everybody. I'd come out here and...
Like, they shouldn't be showing this bit. Like, this guy is completely, like... Who signed off on this, first of all? Do you know what I mean? Like, he can't give his consent over this. But, you know, it's educational. He's helping people. You don't want to end up like this, believe me.
And I went back because I had to go to my mother's funeral, and my mother was always insisting that I bring women into the house, which I did. I brought in
Look, it's just one memory flows into the next one. He comes up with something, he's relaying some sort of memory that is left up in that head that he can access somehow. And then a word will pop up like mother, and it just goes like you'll find 2 words in one sentence, connects to another memory, and then he just keeps it. It's like you're listening to his thought process for as long as his mouth is running. And it's just obfuscated and confused.
100 women every month, and they were of all types and different
Jordan?
races.
Excuse me, but
Mr.
are
Jordan,
you now?
You're lying, Mr. Jordan. Let's listen to that boast.
At all?
Again.
I do take all types of sleeping pills. I take pain pills, things like that. I threw up a full cup of mucus. I was so hungry that I threw up a cup of mucus, and
Doesn't look like a very happy memory.
things got tighter with me. They got very tight, you see, and I had
That always freaks me out. I've watched this a couple of times, and just the way he talks there. Things got tighter with me. They got tighter, you see. You see? Just the way they... I don't know. They just lose it.
You mentioned before that you had a room downtown. What's the address of the room?
It's downtown on 5th Street, right down there, next to the all-night movie.
Mm-hmm. But what's the street number?
The all-night movie.
Oh, that would be 1730. I know where the place is. I do know where it is. It is a very nice hotel where I live.
Mm-hmm. And how long have you lived there, Mr. Jordan?
I've been there quite some time now. I've been there for several years now. 1968, I believe. I was there in 1970.
I wonder if you could be a little more specific about the time.
No, I don't think I could be.
Mr. Jordan, I wonder if you could tell me the name of the building where we are now.
This is the part from the beginning. Look, he has
Yes,
no
sir.
idea.
This is a very large building with.
So he tries to read the room to work it out. It's horrible. It's like he is lying, but obviously it's not wrong. He's probably humiliated and scared and confused, and sort of like self-preservation lying. Like he's trying to do the best that he can, but there's no what he can do. Like at this point, he's literally disabled.
Quite some people in it. This is a type of hotel here. It is a library. There's a library and a hotel.
I believe that people can pull back somewhat from the DTs as well. Like, some people can, it's too far gone stuff, but a lot of people can actually, like, even once it's started, you can sort of, like, pull back, and obviously you have to stop drinking and stuff.
Several people.
Mr. Jordan, this is a hospital.
Well, I'm not a doctor.
This is Los Angeles County USC Medical Center and urine psychiatric unit. Have you noticed any change?
I'm sorry. It is horrible, but come on. That's like, it's a classical comedy moment. So you're in a hospital. Just have no
Several
idea.
people.
Mr. Jordan, this is a hospital. This is,
He doesn't flinch either. But you know, in his head, he's just like, oh, and then maybe it like flashes back memories of what's actually going on. And I mean, this guy is it's such a state. It's such a mess, it really is. And he was probably an alright guy. I mean, I don't know, obviously. He might have been the worst guy ever. But he doesn't seem like a bad guy. He seems polite. Do you know what I mean? Like, nice. He's completely out of his mind, so you think if there was any sort of underlying darkness, that it would be coming out. I mean, he's got the hookers, but, 100 hookers a night? Or a week, or whatever he was saying. Alright. But, he does have a thing with hotels. He's obsessed everything's a hotel as well, so maybe there is a dark side. But nah. I mean, come on, it's tragic. I don't know how this ended up with this guy. It never elaborated on the original video, but
Los Angeles County USC Medical Center and urine psychiatric unit. Have you noticed?
Psychiatric unit as well, just the with it. It's just sort of like a well, I thought I'd get here one day.
Noticed any changes in your thinking recently, or your ability to concentrate, or any problems?
No, I don't. I have had some problem, but I was, now that I've been more mature now, and I am 35 years old.
You're 35. What year were you born?
And June the 3rd, 1929.
What?
That couldn't be quite right, Mr. Jordan.
I just realized the way
But maybe you could tell me what the date is today. Do you know what the date and
Yes,
the date?
sir, today is Friday.
What about the date and the month and the day?
It is June the 3rd. Is that right?
No, actually it's Wednesday, January 14th.
Oh, yes, sir.
Perhaps, I guess you do have trouble remembering things sometimes.
The stupid doctor doesn't ask him the one question I want to know more than anything else. You have to ask him what year he thinks it is. That's the important thing, because, like I said, often they're like stuck in a period in the past. It doesn't matter how illogical it is. Like what I was telling you about that Lady Di woman, thinking that she was in the Navy again and on the ship. It doesn't matter how insane that is. She was talking on the phone to Opie and Anthony, and she still had somehow she still had memories of being an intern on their show and stuff when she was an absolute disgusting fat mess. Right at the end, alcoholic mess, she was puking and drinking on the job and everything like that. She was a mess. Okay? And yet, her at 60-year-old or whatever she was then, and yet in her head, it all made sense. It's like a dream. Do you know what I mean? Like in a dream, you can open a door from your bedroom and you walk into your school, and you don't question it. It just makes sense. That's what it's like.
Go through high school and college?
And the worst part is for them is that lucidity is horrifying. Like when they realize what's going on.
Sir, I did. I have been in high school, and I was in 3 years of college. I graduated from college in 1 year in West Virginia State College and Institute, and that is Charleston, which is the capital of West Virginia's Charleston, where I went to the West Virginia State College.
What years were you in college?
1953. I was in 1953, and I was in 1956.
Mr. Jordan, a few minutes ago I introduced myself to you. Do you remember my name?
They're close in his 30s.
No, I don't remember your name because I look up every time and there's someone always new.
Wow. There it is. No, I don't remember your name because I look up every time and there's someone always new. Now that could be taken one of two ways. Either that it's, he doesn't remember anything, time moves so quickly. Everything's so just disorientated that every time he looks up he's in a different room with a different person, actual different person. Or that his memory is just, his short-term memory is just so short that every time he looks down and looks back up, he's forgotten that person, he recognizes them as someone new again. And every moment of his life is like that, endless torture. Don't drink, kids. Don't drink. It is bad for you.
Mr. Jordan, I'm Dr. Snibby.
That's not
Dr.
a real
Snibby.
name.
Yes, sir. My godfather, as I told you, is Bill Johnson. He has driven a Lincoln Continental since 1930, and he has a lot of money. He has a mortgage on a house in which he pays on $400. Now, I don't have lived in the house. He has not charged me. He would give me money, but I would not accept the money because he...
Or his sound bites. These are things that he'll be able to say on his death. It doesn't matter how bad it gets. He'll be able to repeat these statements. He probably says them multiple times every single day.
He is paying on the mortgage on the house.
Mr. Jordan, let me interrupt you for just a second. I'd like you to do a few simple tasks for me, if you would, okay? It'll help me get some idea of how you're functioning. Is that all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm going to say some numbers to you, okay? And when I say them to you, I'd like you to repeat them back to me, all right? For example, if I said 1, 2, I'd like you to say 1, 2 back.
1, 2 back.
Okay, let's start. 6, 1.
1, 6.
See how interesting that is. See how interesting that is. 6, 1. And he says 1, 6. Why? Obviously. Because 6 is already evaporating. He said that first. His attention went on that. Stored it into whatever short-term memory he has. And then he says 1. His attention goes to that. That other thing's pretty much erased. He has to, if you will, restore it from the recycling bin, to use a horrible analogy. Restore it from the recycle bin first, and then access it. So, of course, he says the last number first, the freshest in his head. It's just a very interesting thing to note right at the beginning.
Well, I'd like you to say them just as I say them, okay?
He realizes what he's done, look.
Yes, sir.
Okay. 4.
He already messed up on the first one. Like, that must be pretty, disheartening.
9, 2.
4, 9, 2.
He does it, he sort of rearranges it in his head. He himself, I believe, he's reversing the numbers in his head the way that he remembers them and stating them out. Because he knows that's the way, again, he's trying to trick the test. And I think the psychiatrist, if that is what this guy's thing is, the head doctor, the inside brain doctor. I think he catches on in a bit, and then he asks him to start saying them in reverse. Although I don't know whether he's doing that or whether he's just trying to see whether he can, whether his memory does serve better that way. But I think that's a bad move for the doctor to do, because then the guy has to sort of reverse it twice. So he's following instructions so simply.
7, 4, 5, 6.
7, 4, 5, 6. I did it. Come on.
7, 5, 7, 5.
No, you can't just make it up.
6 and 4.
8, 5, 3, 7.
8, 7, 8.
What?
7, 8, 5, and 3.
Okay, let's try it again, but with different numbers this time. 3.
I'm getting very tired of this.
Now this is a mean trick. This is a mean trick by the doctor. He says, I'm getting very tired of this. He's humiliated. You know, he's sick. This is probably mentally taxing for him. And it's probably just horrible. Like, I can't describe it. I'm sure there's been like, I've never had a problem with my brain like that, obviously, so, but I'm sure there's like, what can and I know the feeling, so I must be able to like equate it to something that's happened to me. But like just being frustrated that you can't do something and you should be able to do it. It's right there. Like mentally. No, I can't equate it to any like specific experience I can ever remember. But it must be so frustrating. Like, because there's obviously a part of him that comprehends at least every so often what's going on, and right there he does, and he's embarrassed.
Okay. Alright, well then let's go on to something else.
The doctor says, after he's gone, I'm getting tired of this, making it clear that he doesn't want to do it anymore. Doctor then changes the mood and goes, okay, let's go on to something else. And then starts the exact same thing up again. But the guy forgets, obviously. He's already forgot they've done this test. It's cruel, but effective.
This time I'm going to say some more numbers to you, okay? But when I say them to you, I want you to say them in reverse fashion or backwards.
Yes,
For example, if I
yes,
say
sir.
1...
Yes, sir, I'm getting tired of this. Okay, we're going to do the same thing, but backwards. Yes, sir. But he's getting him to do it backwards now, so let's see if he does better.
2, I'd like you to repeat them back to me.
Which, in theory, probably should, unless he misunderstands the instructions. Like, because you don't have to say them backwards, because the way that he's remembering them, they're forwards anyway. Like, he was already saying them backwards last time when he was trying to say them forwards, in your perspective. I know none of this is making sense. I'm not a linguist.
2, 1.
1, 2, and 2, 1.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Alright, let's try it. Well, let's try it again, and each time I say the numbers, you repeat them to me backwards, alright?
Yes, sir.
7, 4.
7, 4.
I'd like you to say them in reverse order, okay?
Yeah, then he's like, what? Like, I am saying them in reverse order. Do you see his face then? Again, it's terrifying. It's a terrifying moment of lucidity where you're like, oh shit, I can't even do this.
4 and 7.
Very good. Let's go on. 3, 5, 2.
3, 5, and 2.
Could you say them in reverse order?
Yeah, so that would be 5 and...
See, he has been an ass, and that would be my body language as well. Like, you twat. I'm getting these right now. You make me... What did he say? 3, 7, 6?
2, 5, and 3.
I don't remember them.
8, 5, 4. And I want you to say them in reverse
4,
order.
5, 8. 4, 5, 8.
8.
No! Backwards.
4,
No!
5,
He
8.
was right though. Look, his memory's suddenly like better doing it backwards like this. There's some fucking grab stuff going on here, man. You're seeing a battle of like short-term and long-term memory. It's insane. Now do you realise I didn't just do this to laugh? Now do you realise why I'm putting it up here? It is interesting and horrifying, terrifying.
Okay.
8 and 5.
Okay, Mr. Jordan, let's go on and do something else, alright? How much is $4 and $5?
That would be $7.
$7.
The certainty in which he said it. It's $9, I think. What did he say again? What did he say again? Did I get that wrong? It's quickly becoming apparent that my short-term memory is worse than this guy's.
If one orange costs 6 cents, how many oranges can you buy for 36 cents?
Oh,
You
don't
would
start
buy
asking me.
several oranges. You would buy a dozen oranges.
A dozen oranges. And if you wanted to buy a soda for 15 cents and you gave the man a $50, okay, how much change should you
What
get
did he
back?
You
say?
get quite some money back there.
Listening
Several.
These don't seem like fair questions, because these, like, it's not, obviously it's not hard maths. He's not asking him hard questions, but like you just saw the guy's having trouble even remembering basic like sequences of numbers, like in 2s, 3s, 4s, and yet now you're trying to get him to remember a sum and then work it out. It's just, I don't get it, but
5 cents back you would get.
I guess it's for the
And
lulz.
change.
Mr. Jordan, I'm going to ask you to do something else for me now, all right? I'm going to say some common sayings to you, okay? Some common things that you've probably heard before, and I'd like you to tell me what they mean in your own words, all right?
This guy could have started a religion like 1,000 years ago. He just started splitting this stuff and someone wrote it down.
Just
Yes,
give me
sir.
the meaning in your own words.
Yes, sir,
okay?
I will, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, let's start with the proverb, there's no use crying over spilt milk.
Yes, sir, there is no use crying on spilt milk.
So he just repeated what he said, but wrong. There's no use crying on spilt milk. Don't know what that means. But let's find out what the meaning behind that phrase is.
If you have a glass of milk in your hand, it is worth more than if you have a quart of milk going over the dam.
Woo! Preach it, brother! It's the type of stuff you hear in a black church, that. Preach it loud, out loud! Praise the Lord! Praise the Lord! Praise Jesus! You know, it's that stamping the feet and dancing. It rhymes, so it makes sense.
So no use crying over spilt milk.
Okay. How about the saying, people who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones?
No, sir, they should not. People that live in the glass houses do not throw stones because they have hit their neighbors or hit themselves, and it is a felony and murder if it is an accident. And if you cast your bread upon the water, then you will have a hard head that will make your a soft flounder.
Because if you cast your bread upon the water, then you will have a hard head, which will soft flounder. Oh my god.
That make their own beds lie down on them.
Mr. Jordan, before we stop, I wonder if there's anything else you'd like to mention or any questions that you have.
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. There are no questions because I feel that I have been greatly helped here. It's, the reason that I drink, I like to be normal, but I drink only... You see, I am so poor. The city of Los Angeles will not put heat in the hotel room.
Still fucking going on about
The
a
people that
hotel
pay
room.
the $60
It's not a hotel room,
will
mate.
get their heat in their room the size. But I pay $35, and that has gone up to $40. Now, I am sure that rent will go up to $45 in my hotel room. My godfather is Bill Johnson. Now, he's driven a Lincoln Continental since 1930 and has given me money, but I refuse to accept the money.
Excuse me, but we really have to stop now, okay? Thank you very much for talking with us. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
So yeah. I hope that guy found peace wherever happened. Don't drink. Mental illness isn't funny. Okay? So just don't drink.